Hello out there, YouTube land. This is Morris, man. As always, so thank you guys for coming to my channel. Today I'm going to do another special short video per request from one of my subscribers. And it's basically entitled, well, his comment was, or question was, could you, when you have a moment, talk about the effects box and pedals that you use to get the sounds that I get. So I'm going to do that because it is a pretty good question, and it deserves to be kind of explained, because you don't know what you don't know, and instead of trying to figure it through it, if you got somebody that can just show you up front, it's always a good thing. But before I do that, I want to make a quick comment regarding my last video, Importance Beginners for Guitarists. In my video, I mentioned that there was a comment that was made regarding sometimes in my videos, they said, you're using the wrong chords. And a subscriber named Robert, he thought that I was addressing that to him, but actually I wasn't. Because if I'm not mistaken, your question basically was, when I showed the sheet music, that your comment was that the sheet music doesn't show you how to play the song like you play it. And you're right. Basically what the sheet music does is provide you with the chords. And unfortunately, they don't become that detailed unless you're dealing with full score music, where it shows you the actual voicings. So if you look at some sheet music and they say B minor 7, and it sometimes give you a diagram, a guitar diagram, which is always wrong because they're always in first position, and the guitar player in the song is not playing in first position. So you're correct. I think we had a misinterpretation of what you thought I was saying, or you thought I was talking about you when I was making that statement. Actually, it was another user made a comment basically on the Earth, Wind, and Fire Sun Goddess. Now, as you know, all my videos, I try to come close to the letter when I play. And the comment was, you're using all the wrong chords and you're using a pick. First of all, not using none of the wrong chords. I actually pulled up that sheet music and got it chord per chord. I even found the voicings. And not only I found the voicings, I strummed it in the pattern that Johnny Graham strummed. Or Al McKay. I'm not quite sure which one played rhythm on that. But and as far as playing it without a pick is ridiculous, because there's no way you can play that song with that kind of velocity for 7 minutes without a pick. So, you know, sometimes you get comments from people that's just totally off the wall, totally unvalidated. It's just, you got some people that just want to hate for some reason. You know, as a teenager growing up playing in bands, you run across a bunch of people that want to do what you do but don't have the talent. So their job or chore now is just to tear you down. So, you know, unfortunately, you get that every now and then. And I just felt I needed to address that. I'm not bickering or sore or anything, but sometimes you need to address some things that need to be addressed. So that's what I did. So getting back to the topic at hand, the subscriber asked me to go into detail about the effects units that I use to get the sounds that I use. And I'm going to say this first. Ever since I was a teenager, me and my childhood buddy who played bass in the majority of my bands, we were always obsessed with trying to sound like the guy on the record. You know, not only play like him, but sound like him. You know, as far as the effects units, the particular guitar, we were trying to actually become those people on the recording. So I've always been kind of, I guess, obsessed with trying to get it right, very close to the authentic recording. So the effects unit that I use is the DODFX7. This is a dynamite unit. I was turned on to this unit by my keyboard player maybe about 7, 8 years ago. Came to his house for a rehearsal. He pulled this out. And a very generous guy. He said, you know what, take this home and check it out because I think you might like it. So I took it home. It was nice of him to let me borrow it. I took it home. And what I like about it is you don't need the amplifier. You can plug your guitar straight in, put your headphones on, and just go. So that was a big plus because amplifiers are extremely noisy. So he let me take it home, fell in love with it immediately. I came back and said, how much you want for it? He wouldn't sell it to me. You know, I begged him for it. He wouldn't sell it to me. So I went on eBay and I found 4 of them. And I bought all 4 of them because when I like something, I buy them in doubles. But one dies, I can pick up the other one. So I bought them. And what's really cool about this effects unit is you get all types of sounds. You get distortion, flange, reverb, wah, chorus, you know, name it. You can combine them, then you can store your particular customized sound into it. So when you want to go back to it, it's there. Can't really say enough about this unit. This is what I use exclusively. And what I do is I plug it in, then I run it into my camera. So I don't have to use an amplifier, because a lot of people ask me, are you using an amplifier? What kind? I don't use an amplifier. I've never actually used an amplifier in any of my covers, with the exception of I did a bass cover, I forgot which one it was, and I used it to get a little more extra bottom. But other than that, just strictly this going into my recorder. And what I like about this is it's important to have this when you do those types of covers where it sounds like you're playing with the record, as opposed to setting up a camera and just playing live and you get all that white noise. A Jambalone feature. This feature here goes, RCA cord goes into the Jambalone, then goes straight into your source of music, whether it's your iPod or your computer. So that's another thing I like about this. And if you're looking to do those types of covers like I do, where it sounds like you're playing it with the record as opposed to live and that white noise, you definitely need a Jambalone plug-in to do that. Because if you don't have it, you can't do that. So I'm going to kind of briefly go over the types of effects and what they sound like and the purpose of them. And by no means I'm an expert in this. I'm just a guy that plays, and over the years I played different types of effects units and guitars and have an ear as far as trying to closely match them together. Because here's something interesting. When I did my cover of Van Halen, and I'm a big Eddie Van Halen fan, Unchained, what I love about Eddie is an innovator. He liked to do different things outside the box. And in that particular song, as I'm listening to it, I can tell what he's using. Of course, he's using distortion, he's using flange, and then he's using, I want to say, like a slight echo to get that sound from that song Unchained, and that's what I used. I came really close to masking, or should I say matching his sound. Now I'm going to go through the different types of effects and applications again. And it's important that not only, you know, if you're trying to get a certain type of sound as far as effects unit, you also need to, you know, get the right type of guitar, because like single cord guitars like Fenders, Stratocasters, Tellies, they have a bright sound, you know, naturally bright sound. And if you're looking for kind of a jazzy sound, I believe humbucker pickups, you know, because I really didn't know that until about a year and a half ago. And I got, you know, now more guitars in my collection than I've ever had, and they're diverse, they're different, because I used to just want to go buy 5-6 Strats, call it a day. But it's sad, it's a good idea to start bringing in other types of guitars that I wouldn't normally play, but to get certain different sounds. And when I, you know, got my Les Paul, my Gibson Les Paul, and my J. Tercer customized Telly, who has a humbucker pickup in it, it gives you a warmer, thicker sound, like a jazz sound. So it's important to take in consideration the type of guitar along with the effects unit to get a certain sound. Again, I'm always attention to detail when it comes to my sound, comes to the way that I play things, because I try to play it close to the letter. And I'm just going to go down the list as far as effects, you know, and again, their sound. The first one is reverb, and I think that's just about everybody's favorite. I got a friend that lives in Wales, and he said, you know, we over here, we love it wet. And that term is they use a lot of reverbs on their recordings. I love reverb because it gives you kind of a bigger headroom sound. It gives your guitar a bigger voice as opposed to no reverb. It just sounds plain and flat. So reverb is very important, but you don't want to use too much reverb, because then it sounds really, you know, funky. You know, it's just too much. The second one is chorus, which is my favorite. Chorus is kind of if I had to describe it, it thickens your sound. It kind of like makes your 6-string a 12-string. It makes it thicker. Again, you don't want to use too much chorus. The guitar player from The Police, Andy Summers, used a lot of chorus and flange and echo, and I love his sound. So chorus is a really good effect. I used to use it on vocals back in the day. We used to do background stuff, try to make it thicker, put a little chorus on there. The next one is phase. Phase is not one of my favorites, along with wah. They're kind of like the cousins of each other, and I'm not really a big fan of neither one of those. I use them sparingly because when you use it too much, it's kind of overbearing to me. You know, a lot of people make fun about the porn movies, music, bone chicka bow wow. You know, that's the wah wah thing going on. You know, so I think the song theme from Shaft made that particular sound really popular during that time. But really not a big fan. It's something that you use sparingly. It's not something that you would use a lot. You know. The next one is delay and echo. Delay and echo is cool. You know, I like delay and echo because it kind of adds kind of that slap back effect. YouTube, the guitar player, uses it a lot, and Andy Summers again uses it a lot too. Distortion, of course. That's when you want to do the heavy rock thing. You definitely want to use distortion. You know, sometimes there are different types of distortion. There's some that when you hit the power chord, it really rings out and it's real dominant. Then there's it's kind of like I guess a grungy type of sound where it doesn't resonate that far out, but you know, it still has that gritty distortion tone to it. And flange. And flange is definitely one that you use sparingly. It's not the type of effect that you want to use throughout the entire song because it's kind of like a wild animal in a sense. It's a very raw sound. And to me, it's not, and most usually, it's not pleasant to the ears. But again, when you're using sparingly in certain applications, it works. So I guess that's basically it. You know, that's what I use. I exclusively use the DODFX7. It gets different tones, and like I said, and I stress that it's important as far as what type of guitar you're using to get the type of sound you want. Because again, if you want that bright sound, can't go wrong with the Tele or the Fender Stratocaster. You want a thicker sound, humbucking pickups on the Gibson or Gibson pickups, guitar. You know, so that's kind of my spill on that. And hopefully this has been helpful to the subscriber that asked for this video and other viewers. And until next time, take care.